welcome back to Tap It Out.
I'm Mario.
And I'm Tim.
Sorry we've been away for a while. We're still trying to work through some things and try to figure things out.
Yeah, we are not full-time podcasters. This is our first time doing anything like this, so definitely, thanks for bearing with us. Love to see more of you. Love to see you guys, watching the videos, supporting the TikToks. So, thank you guys.
We're going to change things up a little bit now from our schedules. We're probably going to focus mostly on Wednesdays, Fridays, maybe another day here and there. But we're still going to talk about Raw and SmackDown definitely, then do our random reviews on Wednesdays. And probably in like today, we're going to go over Extreme Rules 2013 and, discuss what we saw on Raw on Monday. So, and also give our predictions for SmackDown, or I'm sorry, for WrestleMania on Friday. So.
Yep, definitely be there for the Friday show. Probably be out Saturday morning, right before NXT Stand and Deliver. So, kind of start your day with some wrestling. Make it a full weekend. Why not?
That's it. You want to?
You want to go through Extreme Rules first?
That sounds like a plan.
All right. So this was a pretty solid pay-per-view, I thought. We started off with a championship match, I believe.
We started off with Fandango and Chris Jericho.
Fandango and Chris Jericho. Yep. So that was WrestleMania rematch for that year, where, when we saw Fandango and Jericho, we both got very excited, because at that point we were like, all right, these are two of our favorites. Chris Jericho is in both of our top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. Fandango's up there too, and overall, I thought a pretty good match, a fun match.
In the WrestleMania right before that, that's when Jericho put over Fandango. So, kind of knew that Chris Jericho was probably gonna win. Just because as much as Jericho likes to put over younger talent, he's not losing 2 matches in a row to Fandango.
No.
But it was cool because I know we're both pretty big Fandango guys. So and also obviously very big Chris Jericho.
And you know what I love? It wasn't a squash. It was a great match. I remember you pointed out when Dango jumped off the top and Jericho hit him with the code breaker.
Yeah.
That was really awesome.
Yeah. No, that was cool. Fandango is another person that was very, very underutilized in the company.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
Listen, if you guys want people to talk about the Fashion Police for an hour, then we're your guys, because Tyler Breeze and Dango, unreal. And I thought a funny parallel, by the way, was how Jericho is now putting over talent again, like Action Andretti.
Yeah. See, I get why he does it, but I don't like seeing it. I still want to see Jericho win. But, I think he actually does a good job of putting people over, but still being the top guy, too.
I think so, yeah. It's shown he's always been a very generous worker. He wanted to put Nexus over.
Yeah.
So,
And John Cena did not. That's typical Cena, but that's for another day. Maybe we can get to that pay-per-view at some point.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a solid match. Like I said, Jericho did end up winning with a code breaker from the basically like a flying code breaker, essentially.
That was really cool.
The next match, we really start to class up the joint with your boy Kofi Kingston and Mr. Dean Ambrose in a U.S. title match. Once again, it was this. Considering the card and what we saw, this was actually probably one of the better matches.
I agree.
Of the night. Nothing really memorable, but just two guys who can work.
Yep, and as we get to later, it shows this is kind of the pay-per-view where the Shield won all their titles for the first time. So we'll get to that match, the other match later. But Ambrose taking the U.S. title, and he went on a pretty long run with that title too.
Yeah. But like I said, not really much to say, but I do love me some Kofi. And Dean Ambrose is a different story, but I do love me some Kofi Kingston.
And let it be known that Kofi hit the SOS in this match, which don't you guys worry, I'm gonna get into my secondary moves as finishers rant one of these days. But yeah, I thought very good match. It was fun match. And then the next match had the makings to be a fun match, but it was just so short. We had the strap match between Mark Henry and Sheamus.
I'm just gonna just say Mark Henry, another person who I know he's a Hall of Famer, but he's in the company for over 20 years, and he won what? He was handed the ECW title. Or no, the
European title.
The European title.
Won the ECW title.
Won the ECW title, won the World Heavyweight Championship once for 20 years.
Yeah.
the world's strongest man. And it wasn't even like this guy was legitimately the world's strongest man.
Like the dude just pulled two tractors.
And he was just treated as a joke.
Yeah.
In another instance, he was treated as a joke here too, because in no scenario should Mark Henry be losing a strap match.
No, he's like he can move anyone. Like
he can move 2 trucks, but he can't move Sheamus around the ring.
Yeah.
Sheamus is 270 pounds, but he can pull 2 tons
Yeah.
of trucks.
And believe me, there's no old Sheamus slander.
It just no matter who he was facing at the time, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The match itself was not great.
It was just so short. It could have been a really good match, but
and I actually liked it. Like you don't really see strap matches. I can't remember the last time we see a strap match. Like you don't really see them too often.
no, yeah. So it's always a fun gimmick match to see.
But yeah, Sheamus did win. I believe him and Mark both hit 3 of the turnbuckles.
Then Sheamus hit the Brogue. And
then Sheamus hit the Brogue, and Mark was on his back like he usually is in most matches that he competes in, unfortunately. So, but yeah, like I said, it wasn't for a title or anything. It was just cool. It was a cool idea of a match, not really executed properly. I think it was more of a time restraint that kind of made this match, because Mark and Sheamus can both work.
Yeah,
they're both very good in the ring.
Yeah.
So I think it was more of a booking issue with a time constraint on the match, but
yeah, which is a shame, because that had the makings of a great match.
Another shame was I thought we had a Jack Swagger win in our next match against Alberto Del Rio, which we're not gonna get into it, but everybody knows Del Rio and the story with him. We don't need to get into it. But
safe to say we are not Del Rio fans on this podcast.
I am, but we are big Jack Swagger fans, and we do. And Zeb Coulter is always gold. I mean, I know the stuff he said back then he can't say anymore.
Very controversial.
But I think it's more regardless of what side you're on. The fact that he was able to say that back then is just really crazy.
And he was a heat magnet. Like anywhere he went, he got the heat from the crowd. So it was effective.
But it was an I Quit match for the #1 contendership for Dolph Ziggler, which he was concussed, which seems to be a big theme with Ziggler, which we've discussed Ziggler, and we will continue to discuss Ziggler.
And believe me, we're getting to more Ziggler takes when we get to Raw.
But it looked like actually the match itself was really, really good.
Yeah, that was a really good match. It was match of the night so far.
What I did notice too, which I think I told you, what I never saw before, was taking the actual padding off the barricade was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That before.
Swagger did that.
I know they use like a variety of kind of weapons. I can't remember exactly everything that they used, but I know they used the barricade. I think they used the kendo stick.
Yep, they used the chair. I remember for sure, obviously.
And it looked like I think Swagger had Del Rio in an ankle lock.
Yep, and then Zeb threw the towel in.
Zeb threw the towel in, and
they thought it was Ricardo.
And then the ref gave Swagger the win, but then Rob Zapata, that was on the list.
Oh yeah, he's on Jericho's list.
Who should be on the list for that. He comes out and waves it off and said, look at the replay. Which another thing was. Another note there was they used instant replay, which I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And instant replay is really the dumbest thing to use in wrestling.
Yeah.
Because the matches are already scripted. So using instant replay just defeats the purpose of having a scripted match.
Yeah, it really makes sense.
Because how many matches are end in not clean matches? So it ruins story. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of makes you go, wait, why don't they always use that? So it's just like. It's just kind of like a continuity error, like.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but it ended up restarting the match, and once that happened, you knew it was going to win that match.
And then I think Swagger tapped within a minute of the match restarting.
Yeah, that was not ideal.
No, not an ideal outcome. But then we jumped into our next match, which was the WWE Tag Title Tornado match,
which sounds good on paper.
Oh yeah,
sounds good on paper.
Oh yeah, and I saw the Tornado match when they're all in the ring at the same time. We had Team Hell No, the popular Daniel Bryan and Kane, versus the other two members of the Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
On paper, 4 great workers. Mm-hmm. I mean, Roman back then wasn't like he is now, but he was serviceable.
Yeah.
But Seth
and Daniel were
Kane,
Kane, one of the best big men workers of all time.
Elite.
And then Seth was always killing it, and Daniel Bryan was just elite in the ring.
I think this was another almost issue with time constraint, because the match was
so
8 minutes?
Short,
it was ridiculous.
Like you kept waiting for it to get that second gear, which with these competitors would have.
Yeah, I didn't understand, and there wasn't even even the short time there really wasn't even anything memorable that even happened.
Yeah.
In the match, and I think it was more, they're just like, what, we're gonna have the Shield all leave with titles. We're just gonna do this match and just be done with it.
Yeah, and I know maybe they could have wanted to make the Shield look dominant, but they still could have done that in like a 15-minute match. I think it was just more the time constraints, which was.
Yeah, but even like it may look dominant, but like Daniel Bryan and Canada Time, they were no slouch either.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. They were tight for a long time.
I feel like that could have been like a very good back and forth match where you could still have the Shield win.
Yeah.
But it was just ridiculous.
Could have been the barber.
It was actually very, very forgettable. That should have probably been the match of the night on paper, and it was just probably arguably the worst match.
Yeah.
Worst match of the night. No, you might disagree with the
next
match.
I disagree.
Here, so I'll read the match, but I'll let Tim here give his thoughts. So the next match we had Extreme Rules, the Big Show versus Randy Orton. This match really pissed you off for some reason.
Yeah, it was just so. It was a stereotypical 2009 or 2010 to 2013 Extreme Rules match where didn't really do anything that extreme. It was boring. It went on longer than it should have. And listen, I love the Big Show, and I go back and forth on Randy, but I think this was the least favorite time for me for Randy and the Big Show. It felt like they were both just kind of mailing it in. I don't know, like, this was, I just thought it was so boring.
You're like, they were doing mat wrestling in the middle of an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, they were doing mat wrestling during the middle of an Extreme Rules match. Which, okay, if you have, let's say, you have Chad Gable and Daniel Bryan doing mat wrestling in an Extreme Rules match, makes sense. Listen, Randy's no slouch on the mat, but he's not known for his mat wrestling, and the Big Show is not either. So
why? The Big Show's a good worker though. For him,
yeah,
he's really good.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong, the Big Show's a great worker, but
which was shocking too because both these guys are elite in the ring too, in their own retrospect. So I was surprised, and it's kind of the theme of this card where you had like really good matches on paper. They just didn't really execute.
So far, legitimately work-wise, every match in this pay-per-view should have been a great match.
Yeah. I mean, every match we've lived, I really don't see any bad workers in any of these matches so far. Not one.
Well,
well,
we're gonna get to that.
Well, but surprisingly, the next match was, which I thought was gonna be the main event, which I was kind of surprised. But surprisingly, the guy on paper here, which you'd probably say is not good in the ring, which is true, he's very CM Punk's hurty. But this was probably the match of the night.
I agree. This was the match of the night right here.
Which is surprising because we had John Cena versus Ryback in the Last Man Standing match, which it's Last Man Standing matches are awesome.
Yeah.
We played like two.
Oh yeah. Anytime we jump on 2K, we always gotta do a Last Man Standing match.
But I mean, I knew where this was going, anyways. Even back then, Cena's not losing the Last Man Standing match, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Like, it was really fun. They did a lot of fighting outside the ring and in the crowd, which was always fun to see.
Yeah, and then I thought that was awesome. Them going kind of near like the pyrotechnics stage and all that. Like they when they were in the ring, when they were ringside, they really delivered. But I think the spot of the night.
Yeah, and I always appreciate crowd fighting. I don't think we got enough of that anymore.
Not at all.
But when Ryback picks up Cena and kind of does like a running slam into the pyro mesh cage or whatever and breaks through it and all the lights start smashing and popping and stuff, and they both have to get carted or stretchered out. That was, or I know Cena did. I think Ryback they escorted him out. I know Cena got stretchered out.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I mean, it wasn't a long match, but for what it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was a very fun match. Ryback really delivered. Cena really delivered. Kind of ended in that draw, which I don't like a draw, but I think that one was kind of a perfect draw.
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, and I think it kind of worked at the time because I think they were still trying to build Ryback up as a main eventer. Yeah. And having him lose like clean in a Last Man Standing match would definitely not look good for him.
No.
So I think it worked out where you're keeping Cena. Yeah. Cena clean, but you're not making Ryback look weak either.
I mean, if anything, Ryback probably looked stronger since he got up and walked out on his own.
No, it didn't help him though, because I think he lost every match to Cena that he ever had. So
yeah.
Speaking of I was gonna say people who buried people because I was thinking about John Cena. We had Triple H and Brock Lesnar.
Yep. So we got a little steel cage match action. So yeah,
It was.
it was a fun match. It was, you know.
I think the Las Vegas match should have been the main event. Personally,
I agree.
I think that sending them home, I know we're going back to that match, but going back to that match, like ending the match the way they did with the pyro, like that would have been a cool way to end the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree.
And this match as a main event was very, very underwhelming. And also the time where Triple H at that time was
Kind
getting
of
a little bit
retired,
older,
yeah. And Brock had just come back.
And ever since Brock came back from 2012 and stuff, he was better then, but Brock at this point in his career, and even back then, he's more of just like, I want to come to the ring, work for 5 or 10 minutes, do a couple F5s, and then leave.
Call it a day.
Yeah. This wasn't as bad as he is now, but it still wasn't a great match.
I think one of the funniest things in the match is when he went and hit his knees like, Paul, my knee, Paul.
And then, but surprisingly though, Brock did win because Triple H doesn't really like to lose too many matches.
Yeah. Hey, but at that point, Brock had just come back. I think he'd lost to Cena, so he needed a win.
Yeah, and I'm sure he would have been happy if he kept losing multiple matches. So
no, so Brock ended up winning with the sledgehammer followed by the F5. Left Triple H laid out. All in all, I thought it was a solid match. I think the last man standing should be the main event though.
Yeah, I totally agree. What do you give the whole pay-per-view overall on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd probably give it like a 6.5. I think a 6.5. I don't think it's good enough to be a 7. I'd say 6 or 6.5. How about you?
I'm not really a fan of this pay-per-view at all. I'm more about a 5. I think that honestly, if the whole Shield didn't winning all the titles didn't happen, I'd probably give it closer to a 4. I just thought too many of the matches were just way underwhelming.
Yeah,
for me to even really enjoy it. You had a few highlight matches here and there, but overall, I think one of the main reason is because on paper the workers looked so good, and it was just very, very underwhelming. So I think to me that's why it kind of goes down a notch. But it definitely wasn't the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen. Would I go out of my way to watch it again? Probably not. But if I had to watch it again, it wouldn't be the worst thing either. It's just, to me, it's like 50%. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely stay on the lookout for more of those. We will definitely keep them coming.
Yep, definitely give you some more randoms, and definitely check out our TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels, where we'll also post a lot of our random wheels that you'll be able to see before we even review it, which pay-per-view we get.
All right, you want to get into some Raw?
Sure. Let's jump in, and I kind of,
I'm just gonna say it.
Starting off Raw.
I'm just gonna say it. I went to this Raw thinking, you always assume that, the Raw before WrestleMania is gonna be really, really good. And this was honestly, maybe it's because we've been kind of spoiled recently with how good Raw and SmackDown, but even AEW's been, that this Raw was very, very, very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Was it horrible? No. Was it good? Even good? Not really. To me, it was average to below average at best.
Yeah.
Which is really, really disappointing because I really hope SmackDown's good this week.
Yeah.
Because this was not great. Do you want to?
Yeah, sure.
Start it off.
Yeah, sure. So we start off with something that, of course, everyone wants to hear. Awesome. And we start off with Miz TV, where
what you know is going to be a bad sign.
that should have been our omen that we had Miz TV starting off. And then, at least he invites Becky out there, Lita and Tricia there too, but we have Becky out there, and then, Miz is trying to kind of stir up all the drama, and I really do think they're hinting at the Trish heel turn at WrestleMania.
I hope Trish turns heel because she's a very cringy face right now. It's cringe. I don't think it's her fault. I hope it's the writing or something, but she's very cringy. Cringy as a face. But Trish has always been a better heel, though.
Yeah, Trish, yeah. Trish was running, when she turned heel at WrestleMania 20, that was, that was an elite run, So,
this ended up turning into, it ended up being, I think they already had it scheduled, was the one-on-one match, with Becky and Io Sky. Listen, I don't have an issue with this opening. but it went on just way too long.
Mhm.
I think the whole between the Miz TV and this match,
Like almost
it
8:40.
was like 8:40,
Yeah.
and we were still on this.
Yeah, and it's like, come on.
And I mean, you have 2 nights of WrestleMania to try to build up on 2 shows the week before,
Mhm.
the week of,
Yeah.
and you're spending almost a third of the show on this, and honestly, nobody really cares about this match at WrestleMania. To be honest, it's not like it's for the titles or anything like that. So I just really don't understand why they decided to spend almost a third of the show
Yeah.
on this match. What do you have, like 4 commercial breaks during this
Yeah,
match?
yeah, that was
And
tonight. And
overall-
we're into that tonight or this night's Raw. I don't know why I feel like there were so many commercials, but
I've never seen it. I feel we would literally have points where we would get like a video package,
like a
a backstage segment, then another commercial.
yeah, it's like
I didn't get it,
but
but
the match itself was okay. It's
it was
not
a
a
good
match.
match. It was
Yeah,
a good match. It was just way too long.
If I wish I would have had the match without the Miz TV at the beginning.
Yeah, that
And
would have
then-
been fine.
Yeah, then that would have been. I think would have been a great opening then.
If that whole thing was 20 minutes with the match, I'd be fine with that.
Mhm.
The whole Miz TV thing was not needed.
No.
It was just a way to get Miz on, no pun intended, TV. But it was. And to continue the first hour of the show, we got something that also was not great. Listen, I love Seth, but I mean, Seth versus Mustafa. I mean, this was literally just a way for Seth to look strong before
Yeah,
he
just get a
actually
win.
defeated Paul, because Mustafa's a joke.
Positive Ali.
Which I will say is at least he's doing something that's better. I mean, I personally like Mustafa and just getting beat up backstage.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's more funny.
that month where he just got anyone just tossed him aside.
But the match itself wasn't really great, and it was just really just for
Yeah.
Seth to look strong.
Yeah,
There really wasn't even much to say.
Yeah, the only thing was Seth did that stomp in the corner, which was pretty cool, but that was
Yeah, that was it. I mean, we all knew Seth was gonna win.
Yeah.
Luckily, unlike the first match, they didn't let us drag on for too long.
Yeah, exactly. It was relatively quick. I think it was like 3-4 minutes.
And then to round out the first hour, we had another just. I don't get it. I don't get this match. I really don't like Omos, and I don't understand why they like a weigh. Who cares?
Yeah.
A weigh-in. We know what they weigh. Like
Yeah.
it's not it's about like we know what they weigh.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I don't
It's not
understand.
you don't have to make weight.
I actually do appreciate that Brock just came out and started attacking Omos and not
Oh,
made
yeah.
the segment go on any longer.
Mhm.
I think the whole segment was like 5 or 6 minutes, which was perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, this match is gonna be terrible. It's
Yeah.
like I said. I think we discussed it last time, but we're really just gonna watch this to see if Brock can F5 Omos.
Yeah, that's
Which
it.
he's probably gonna be able to do because I think he's F5 the Big Show before.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
he can F5 the Big Show, he can F5 Omos.
Yeah,
He just
exactly.
need a little more torque. He's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I think
But he's
he'll
gonna do it. He's like 100 pounds less
Yeah.
than the Big Show weighed when he F5'd him. But this was just a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But for Brock, I guess he still takes this over working with Wyatt.
Well, yeah. I mean, even if Wyatt was healthy, I don't know. He still probably wouldn't work with him. But
No.
personally, I would have rather. I think that Wyatt Brock would have been a
Okay.
better match.
Yeah.
Because I know people are down on Bray and he hasn't had the best. But that's not all of his fault. We've talked
No,
about
yeah.
that before. But I think that would have been more fun of a match. But honestly, I just want this match to get over with.
Yeah.
I really hope it's like early night one
Either early
no,
or
or night
yeah.
two, just early on either
Yep, just
night
get it.
and just get it done.
Yep.
But now, now we start picking up a little bit.
Oh yeah, this is where we start cooking. So we get we get an 8-man tag match between the competitors in the WrestleMania Showcase tag match.
And I'm gonna say another big issue I had was I think they cut off the kiss,
They call it the kiss of the entrance.
and we're not gonna get too many Chad Gable
Yeah.
Otis kisses anymore.
Look
which
at
is-
this face.
which is very and the fact that they cut that off
Yeah.
was disappointing. But we had Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and the Street Profits, which against an elite team of Chad Gable, Otis, and the Viking
Oh,
Raiders
yeah.
with Valhalla. Don't forget Valhalla.
Oh yeah, gotta include Valhalla.
But honestly, it was a good match.
Yeah,
It
I
was
thought
fun.
it was a very good match. Once again, I think this is kind of a theme where a lot of matches we're looking forward to are short.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this match went on. I mean, I guess they probably don't want to go on too long, but I don't know. I thought it was a fun match. Definitely, Chad Gable, Otis got their work in. The Viking Raiders got their work in. So, but yeah, I thought the frog splash that Montez Ford did, where he
like
twisted midair.
twisted, yeah.
Like, that dude's gonna be a star.
And I mean, you knew this match was going to be good because you have Chad Gable, Otis, the Viking Raiders, Ricochet, and Montez Ford, all can really work. Braun Strowman and Angelo Dawkins, nah. But you had 6 out of 8 guys who were actually pretty good. Obviously not the outcome we wanted, but once again, Viking Raiders had a very good showing.
Yeah, they did.
And I just want to keep throwing it out there that Viking Raiders need to have more TV time.
Yeah.
Because they can work. Mm-hmm. And I think they can definitely be a tag champ in the future. Yeah. I think they would have to split the belts for that to happen.
Yeah.
But if they ever did split the belts, I'd see them being like SmackDown champ.
Yeah.
Because they're both very good.
I mean, if Sami and Kevin Owens win at WrestleMania, they're going to need a first tag team to feud with. Heel team, one of the Viking Raiders.
Yeah. I also just want to note how much I dislike Braun Strowman, and I don't appreciate Ricochet teaming with him and being a sellout, which I don't know if you ever discussed, but I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter.
But after that whole feud, and then Braun Strowman Ricochet feuding on Twitter, kind of about the flippy wrestlers comment, and like, why?
I don't get it. You know what? If this keeps Braun Strowman out of the main event picture, then I'm fine with it. Keep him on the mid-card tag team, and I'm fine with it. I don't want to see him anywhere near any major titles. It's just...
Hey, Ricochet, thanks for taking one for the team.
But it does look like, I know we discussed it before as well, that we're probably not going to see Alpha Academy too much longer.
Which is going to be such a shame. Like, Alpha Academy is, our favorite tag team in the business right now.
Yep.
So but if it leads to the Chad Gable singles push, and we get a U.S. title run, Intercontinental title run, or King Chad Gable, which would be awesome. That would be, any one of those three. If you want to also throw Money in the Bank in there, I think that's the most unrealistic. But hey, we can dream, right?
So we got another match after this, which was a little less inspiring, but I will say the outcome was a lot better. And
at least this match had some kind of stakes.
So we had for the last spot in the women's qualifying match at WrestleMania, we had Candice LeRae and Mia Yim versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Listen, 1 out of 4 is very good in this. Mm-hmm. And I don't care who Chelsea Green teams up with as long as she wins. I mean, I prefer somebody better than Sonya Deville. Yeah. But even so, them as a team, well, obviously they won the match, so the match wasn't anything, but they won. But it was cool. One, it was cool to see Chelsea Green. I think this was their first win, right?
First win, yep.
And 2, now they are the team I want to see win in this showcase match.
I agree. I think it would be cool. Chelsea Green started off, getting embarrassed at Royal Rumble. Kind of getting WrestleMania win. It's not out of their own possibility. I still, I mean, we'll get into our predictions.
Yeah.
I actually think it might be it's not the least likely team to win.
No, but we'll definitely get into that. But cool. I mean, let's bring Chelsea Green at WrestleMania, and that's more we can say. That's more than we can say for the next man who's not in the match, but was involved in the. Or no, actually was in the match. Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry. The next man that was in the match. Next match was Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest.
Oh, big Damian Priest.
Another man which. How don't you have a spot for Damian Priest, but you have a spot for Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, Natalya, but you don't have room for Damian Priest, Omos, but you don't have room for Damian Priest.
Yeah,
who's a star? I don't get it.
Like why can't they get Priest and Santos Escobar having something at WrestleMania? That would be a match.
It's just another thing where, and you know what though, what I'm hoping is, I'm a little off topic, but it looks like we're going to start seeing some retirement soon, maybe with Ray, Edge, stuff like that. Maybe Brock. I'm hoping that's going to open up for other guys like Santos, Damian Priest, and stuff to really get a push, because they have a lot of good talent that's just not being used properly.
Yeah.
And don't worry, we'll get into the number one. The number one.
We get that very shortly.
Which. Well, yeah, we'll save that for a little bit later, but yeah, it was a no contest. Mostly setting up for Dom versus Ray at WrestleMania, which I really hope that Dom wins.
Yeah, Dom, you give Dom that win. That gets him the heel heat that he needs. And that'd be perfect. I want to keep talking about Damian Priest because I don't want to get into the outcome of this next match. But I'm just glad Damian Priest didn't lose that match.
So I have 2 issues with the next match. One, that we had Gunther on Raw and we didn't get to see Samantha Irvin.
Yeah, which before we get into disrespect of another man, I don't know why there's a section of Twitter and TikTok that just hates Samantha Irvin. I don't understand. I think she's the best ring announcer of all time. We both do. I think she, has a big match feel.
I don't stand for any Samantha slander.
No. And by the way, Paul Heyman, we didn't appreciate that comment on SmackDown last week.
I mean, what I don't get is people say she's extra, but what do they want? Do they want somebody that sounds like a mime?
Yeah.
When they introduce people, do you want somebody to talk like a little whisper, like I
No, you
don't
want
get
someone
it.
talking, getting all excited.
Because it gets you excited. It gets you involved. It gets you pumped up. Like I don't understand. How's there such thing as too extra?
Yeah.
Especially in a big match and stuff like that. And
Elimination Chamber in Montreal. Listen to Samantha introduce Sami and then Roman.
Yep.
That helps make a moment.
And she's very passionate. If you watch her, she's very passionate when she does it too, which is cool to see. And I mean, we've had the times like Lillian Garcia and Justin Roberts and stuff, and they were whatever. But I mean, if you want to go back to that compared to what we have, then I don't know. You need to reevaluate your opinions because that's just that's insane. Yeah. But even more insane was because they didn't announce who. I don't think they announced who Gunther's opponent was until he came out. And
our boy Dolph
Ziggler is just, I don't know what to say anymore at this point.
It's criminal how misused he is. Criminal.
I don't know what more this guy can do. He's got the looks that drives the girls wild.
He's got the mic skills. I was prepared for a song.
But I mean, he's got the looks. He's got the in-ring ability, charisma, selling, mics, like everything you could want. And they just say, "Oh no, we're good. We're just gonna feed you to everybody. We're gonna feed you to Omos in 45 seconds." Yeah. We're gonna make you lose to Mustafa Ali, who's portrayed as a clown and a joke.
Yeah.
Which I guess so is Dolph at this point.
Yeah. So.
I just don't get it. I mean, if you're listen, you can feed anybody else to Gunther. I don't care. You want to make Gunther look strong, whatever. And so the 3 main things besides that was on Raw, so no Samantha, Dolph Ziggler. And we didn't even get a Drew or Old Shamey appearance on here. No. I really hope they're saving that for Friday because I don't understand this.
No.
You brought the Viking Raiders to SmackDown.
Yeah.
We haven't seen why not Drew and Shamey? Yeah, at least make it somewhat.
I agree. And also, what pissed me off was the commercial break that happened just when the match started. Yeah. There was most of the match was during the commercial break, which was like we finally see Dolph Ziggler. Commercial break.
I guess the only thing you could say was at least it's I guess for him it's an upgrade from wrestling Mustafa Ali and Omos, but it's still, I mean, I don't know. And you know what? I have seen there are a lot more people that feel this way. If you go on Twitter and stuff like that, I've seen people saying but I feel like there needs to be more. We need to form a push and be like, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Dolph needs to be pushed.
Yeah.
And it's not acceptable the way he's been treated.
No, it is.
You know what? Leave the company. Go to AEW, something like that. I mean, Tony Khan's not known for making the best decision when it comes to talent either, but could it be any worse than he is in that's one on WWE right now? I don't know. But we'll definitely spend more time on Dolph Ziggler because it's never going to stop. And
don't worry.
We get what we want. Give me what I want.
Don't worry, guys. We have a whole list. Jericho has his list. We've got our list of Dolph Ziggler. So
that's all I ever wanted.
that Big Dave promo, I think about it at least once a day.
So we ended with the main event, which on paper very, very good. Cody Rhodes versus Solo with Paul Heyman, which once again,
Paul Heyman, you're on the naughty list.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the match?
I thought it was a good match. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a good main event. Cody did the 2 Cody cutters, and I'm like, okay, like we're cooking now.
I mean, we kind of knew where this was leading. The fact Solo's never been pinned before, so I'm like, are we gonna see Solo get pinned?
Mhm.
And then once I saw the Usos and Sami and Kevin come out, I'm like, this
Yeah.
match is probably gonna end in like a no contest or something
Yeah, I was
like
actually
that.
was kind of a swerve ending it with a kind of a clean pinfall.
I think it was, they're like, so my thoughts on that are, that makes Cody look very, very strong.
Yeah.
You just defeated a guy who's never been pinned before.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
has looked like it, they call him the enforcer,
Yeah.
So that's either them setting you up to being like, oh man, you know what? Cody's legitimate, which he's always been legitimate. He doesn't have to prove himself at this point in his career, but
Yeah.
he's always been legitimate. But this is like, oh man, wait,
Yeah.
Cody being a defeated guy, he definitely beat Roman. Or this is more like just more building up the swerve that, you know what, Roman's gonna retain, which I don't know. I mean, so I think that if Roman does win, this is, Cody beating Solo makes it be like, whoa, even more of a structure. Like, Cody beat Solo, man, he's definitely gonna beat Roman now because he's done like,
exactly.
beating like one of the undefeated guys in the
Mhm.
company and stuff. So we're definitely gonna see. At least the ending of Raw was good. I don't know what your final thoughts on.
I agree. I thought the ending was good. If I had to pick my favorite kind of parts of the night, it was either this or the 8-man tag.
Yeah, agreed. A lot of the matches were either too long, as we had, or just pointless, or just in way too many commercials. I know way too. I've never seen this many commercials on a Raw before.
No,
it was insane. I don't know if they're thinking like, oh, we're getting more viewership now because right before
Maybe,
WrestleMania, more people start to watch because even
Mhm.
non-wrestling fans start kind of tuning in towards WrestleMania season. So
Yeah, exactly.
this close, so but I am hoping SmackDown is gonna be better.
I think it will be.
It's always usually the better show, anyways.
Well, we're getting the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah, and actually, do you want to make your prediction for the Andre the Giant?
You know what? You're better than mine. I was just gonna say, hey, we should probably do that.
Well, tell me who you want to win, but who you think's gonna win also.
All right. So, well, obviously I want Dolph Ziggler to win
Yeah.
because he needs it. But another fun option. There's never been a 2-time winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now you can either get Baron Corbin as a 2-time, or you can get Mr. Madcap Moss as a 2-timer.
So, who do you think is gonna win?
I think Bobby Lashley's gonna win. I think if Bobby Lashley's in the match, it's kind of like a hey, we're gonna give you this, this kind of, trophy and all that.
No WrestleMania now match,
Yeah.
possibly with no Bray and stuff like that. So, no, makes sense. Me personally, who I want to win is obviously Dolph, but that's not gonna happen. My other choice is Mr. LA Knight.
Yeah.
LA Knight, Corbin, Dolph. Those are my 3 main guys I'd like to win.
Yeah. Santos is on there too.
Santos, I mean, you're higher on Madcap than I am. He's more of a meme, but
The Madcap thing kind of a joke. Still love Madcap, but let's be clear, I have LA Knight way higher than Madcap Moss.
who I think is gonna win? I've been saying it. I think my pick is Bronson Reed.
Alastor Brodus.
Yeah, you know the fetish they have with these big guys and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's. I don't like it. I hate Bronson Reed. I'm not gonna say how I really feel right now about Bronson Reed. But that's who I think is gonna win. I could definitely see Lashley as well too, especially if they don't have anything for Lashley. Oh yeah, here's a bone. It's not like when the Giant Battle Royal really does anything because we've seen the past guys have
exactly.
Big Show was kind of like, I'll throw a bone to Big Show.
Yeah.
And
Cesaro, it looked like it was gonna be
Mojo Raw.
Yeah.
Madcap Moss, like it's a joke, but
give him something at least. I'm kind of hoping we get a Lashley LA Knight thing at WrestleMania too. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Or something with LA Knight. All right, cool. So be on the lookout for our WrestleMania predictions as well as our SmackDown, review on Saturday morning. We'll record right after SmackDown, and then we'll get that up for Saturday, so that way you guys can start your day with wrestling.
And we'll have something probably recorded for around Sunday afternoonish. We're probably won't be recording Saturday night, so we'll try to put something out for a Sunday. Hopefully something Sunday, and then we'll probably do something like either the day after or Tuesday, something for the night to WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of went on. So.
Yep, yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun. I hope we're getting towards the end of the week. I know I'm getting really excited now.
Yeah. I'm pumped.
Yep.
It almost feels like it's like a couple days away now.
Exactly.
It's
like
gonna be
we're recording on Wednesday, so we're like 3 days away. Like that's awesome.
And we have there's a lot of wrestling that's going on this week and next, so it's gonna be a lot of stuff to cover. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. So definitely make sure to check out the TikTok. YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Twitter. On Twitter you can follow us as we watch Raw or SmackDown, and follow the other ones for some fun content. We did some blind rankings, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think mine were a little better.
Yeah, I know.
you got lucky.
Ronda Rousey got me, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you guys for checking it out. If you guys have any questions or you want us to cover anything, or you have any trivia for us, shoot us an email at tappinoutshow@gmail.com. And
that's it.
all right, what do you say we get out of here?
Let's go.